All right. Good morning, cyber friends. It's the Midiman again, coming back at you from Walker Studio and here in Studio B. We want to say good morning to everybody. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath to all of my Jewish friends. And happy Sabbath. And God bless you is my prayer and hope for all of you. We want to say that it is good to be still in the land of the living. And to all my cyber friends, I want to say also to all of you, the inner circle, we thank God for each and every one of you as well. I got an unusual topic here this morning, but believe me, it's not an accident that I used this topic this morning because this is something that I really mean and I really, believe it or not, I have done it already in the spirit. But I just wanted to come on and let y'all, I know y'all are curious about my conversation with COVID-19. And this Midiman's conversation with COVID-19. And this is exactly the way I said it in my spirit. And it is exactly what I mean because of the fact that I really mean it. I don't say stuff that I don't mean. I try not to use words loosely. And in other words, I invited, if it was in my own little office here, and I invited COVID-19 entrance to sit down to hear what I had to tell him, to tell this here dreaded virus. A lot of people call it dreaded. They got a lot of names for it and everything. But however, I said that this is my address and I wanted to speak to COVID-19. First thing I like to say is what I'm thankful for COVID-19. I know that's going to throw a lot of y'all off base. Yes, there are some things that I am thankful for COVID-19. I'm thankful for COVID-19 for you allowing me to see how brave our healthcare professionals are. Oh, I thank you, COVID-19, letting us see how all of the doctors and the nurses and the CNAs and the caregivers, all health caregivers, have been so brave throughout this whole ordeal by meeting you head on one, even in the midst of not knowing what would happen to them. They yet and still, they went to their jobs every day. They went and they took care of the sick. They took care of the sick, and even in the midst of not knowing anything about what you would do or how you would react, they went to work anyway, and they took care of the people. I take my hat off. Thank you, COVID-19, for letting me see how brave our doctors and our nurses and our CNAs and our caregivers for the people that are sick and could not help themselves. They did not leave them out in the cold. I thank you, COVID-19, for allowing me to see that. All right, COVID-19. Another thing I want to thank you for letting me see is that I'm looking at our over-the-road truck drivers, how brave they were. Because in the midst of the whole ordeal, they never stopped them trucks from rolling. They got in those trucks and they took the food to the different grocery stores and the different department stores, all of the necessities of life that we have become so accustomed and so used to living with, and to the point to where we just really could not do without. I thank you for letting me see how brave our truck drivers, male and female, that did not stop driving those trucks and making certain that the stuff was in the store for you to buy. Thank you, COVID-19, for letting me see that, how brave we got. So brave of truck drivers. We thank y'all truck drivers. We thank the truck drivers. And also, COVID-19, I want to thank you also for letting me see how our law enforcement, how they have stood up to the bat and stood up to the plate. Even in the midst of everything, they were yet out patrolling the highways and the byways, keeping us safe while we was in these homes, somebody had to keep us safe while we was in these homes. We thank the law enforcement agency. I thank you, COVID-19, for letting me see that. Not last, but not definitely not least, I want to thank you, COVID-19, for allowing me to see how, like I said, the professionals, they all came together to work this thing out. And even in the midst of the thing is still not over, but yet they are brave enough to continue to do what's right, to continue to do what's right. The doctors and the nurses and the caregivers kept working. The truck drivers kept doing their duty and trying to keep the stuff in the grocery store. The law enforcement agency was trying to keep their stuff. And then I look at our nation's defense in the form of the National Guard and the reserve. They came in to assist the medical profession by sanitizing the nursing homes and the hospitals and doing things that a lot of people were afraid to do. They came and did it anyway. Thank you, COVID-19, for letting me, Midiman, see that. But most of all, not only I thank you for letting me see how great a health professionals we have. Not only do I thank you for letting me see how great a truck drivers that we have that kept rolling, even in the midst of the danger, even in the midst of going through the battle of the shadow of death. They didn't fear. They kept on working. They kept doing what they were supposed to do. Thank you for those defense workers, those military personnel that went out there and did what they had to do. Thank you for the law enforcement, but most of all, I thank you for allowing me to see just where my faith was with my God. See, I can't speak for nobody but Midiman. I thank you for letting me see where my faith lied in with my God as well. Or lack of it. Or lack of it. There are some things that we could have did better. But that's all right. We'll say that for the next time. But thank you for letting me see where I stood in all of it. And letting me see where all of these people that we talked about, where they have stood in the midst of this thing. Thank you for our healthcare professionals. Those doctors and them nurses and them CNA workers and all the healthcare community, how they, not only in America, I'm talking about the worldwide, they kept going and kept doing what they were sworn to do. And that was to take care of the sick. And that's exactly what they done. Even in the midst of COVID-19 that you tried to threaten them, they still did their duty. Duty. The military, duty. The truck drivers, duty. Amen. And then all of the other individuals that did whatever they could. I thank you for letting me see that. Whatever little part that they played, but they stood ramrod straight and did not bow down. I thank you, COVID-19, for letting me, the man, see just how some of us will come together, even in the midst of all of the turmoil. And to you, my brothers and sisters, this morning, in the midst of this Sabbath that we ran into another Sabbath, what this thing should have, a lot of people is finding out all the negative, but no, I found out all the positive that I could find out. And I thank coronavirus, COVID-19, thank you for all those things you let me saw. Because I saw that there is some people that will stand up. I see where our medical profession is when they stood up to this thing, even in the midst of not even knowing anything, not knowing what kind of danger, that they had families too, that they had to get up and go to the workplace. They had to go to take care of our loved one who was sick and in the hospital, but they went. They could have died too, but they didn't let that stop them from going and doing duty. See, it's a lot of us, y'all. We don't know nothing about that. We self-preservative, selfish. We ain't thinking about those people. They had families that they left at home. Those doctors had wives and kids that they left at home. Them nurses, the old CNA workers, they had family members that they left at home. But yet and still they went and did their duty. Those truck drivers, they went from coast to coast, driving them trucks, trying to keep grocery on your table. But yet and still, they had families. Now, what are we going to do for them? We going to sit around and talk about them? Just because of the fact that now just because we don't have no eggs on the table this morning? Probably because you were too lazy or scared to go to the grocery store to get them because they there because those truck drivers never stop working. I'm just showing y'all people, we always got so much to say negative about people before we look at the whole story. So I thank Corona, I thank COVID-19 for allowing me to see just the type of bravery that I have seen in these last 3 months in the way of the healthcare providers, from the doctors all the way down to the CNAs and to the little old lady that give her one little aspirin tablet, to the truck drivers from coast to coast that done drove them trucks and yet on the road. I'm going to give them the honor. To the military, I'm going to give them the honor. But most of all, to my God, that for showing me just how my faith were in this here particular ordeal. Opening my eyes up to see that I can be better. I can be better. But at least we didn't fall completely apart. But we can be better. This is what I want everybody to know. And you know what? Other than those, that category that I just spoke about, I really can't say too much more. But I say I thank God for allowing me to see real faith in action. So we can start with the healthcare and go all the way down to the lady, the little old lady man that gave one person an aspirin tablet in the name of the Lord to try to help them feel better. Yes, we lost some people. God knows we did. We lost some people, and we so sorry about that. But we are not God. I can't give you no information on that. I can't give you no information on that because only God can tell you that. I can't. That's above my pay grade. But I'm saying, Midiman's conversation with COVID-19, thank you for allowing me to see the humanitarian, the response, and the duty and the call of duty to all of the one that was in position to do what they had to do, and they done it. Even in the midst, and even walking through the valley of the shadow of death, they said they will fear no evil. Because guess what? That's what God told us to do in the first place. Don't fear evil, even in the shadow of death. He told us not to fear it. Oh, y'all, Midiman just had to tell y'all that this morning. And in my promise, I told y'all I would not make no real long videos anymore. To the best of my ability, I'm going to make them short from now on. I'm going to cut it off right here. But I just wanted to show y'all my conversation with COVID-19. Until the next video, next Bible study, whichever comes first, this is Midiman saying peace and good morning.